We want to speak life over you today. Every person listening, we want you to understand that no matter where you've been or where you might currently find yourself, it's not over. When God is in it, there is no limit. New breed.
It's not over. It's not finished. It's not ending.
It's only the beginning.
It's only the beginning. God is in there.
All things are new.
All things are
new.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is availing, and thank you so much for tuning back in. Today I come bearing not the greatest of news. I've been diagnosed with stage 3B cervical cancer. Today is the 31st of December 2022, and one thing I'm sure about is that I will beat this. I will go through all the things that I need to go through in terms of treatment, and I will fight this until I beat it, and I'm going to make sure it doesn't come back, God willing, of course. How I found out about this cancer was I started bleeding. I would spot every once in a while. Since I had a baby in 2008, they only gave me one injection at the hospital afterwards. It was a contraceptive injection for 3 months. And since then, I've never been on any contraceptives. The only time I was on contraceptives was earlier on this year, 2022, around from February, post-surgery. Also because I had to do some skin treatment. I had acne, so I was on Acnitane, and I wasn't allowed to fall pregnant, so I had to go on contraceptives. And then, but since I had a baby, I would go on my periods a little less than what it was normally before I had a baby. So my periods would go like small. They were small. I never used to have a heavy flow. I never used to have period pains for a good 14 years, because my child is 14 now. And yes, suddenly after these genetic contraceptives that I was taking after the Acnitane, I then started realizing that my periods are changing altogether. In my mind, I thought it was the contraceptive, so the periods are changing. So in my head, I'm thinking, no, it's the contraceptives, the genetics. Maybe because I stopped the genetics, let me just give it time and see. But even before I was taking the genetics, my periods were a bit funny because they were little. On some months, I would spot, like, my periods would last a day on some months. And then it was the contraceptives. And then during the contraceptives, it was as good as the 14 years ago, how it would go. The small spotting, the less flow, the small flow. And then after the genetics, I would spot almost frequently, like every day. They would come twice in a month sometimes. So the genetics I took February, March, April, May, until May, because Acnitane is 3 to 4 months. So yeah, from beginning of the year. And even so, now going back to February again, I saw because of the irregular periods, I then went to my gynae, and my gynae said I had endometriosis, and he did a surgery. Not only endometriosis, it was also cysts on both of my ovaries, and then he did surgery. He said I'm on stage 1 endometriosis with cysts in both left and right ovaries. Both fallopian tubes were open and normal. You will fall pregnant. That's what he wrote. You may need contraception pills in between pregnancies. Remove plasters on the 28th of February, that is 2022. Clean wound with surgical spirit plus cotton wool. Call my office for appointment to see me. Right? And here's what the surgery basically looks like. Here's what the surgery looked like. So this is yeah, I'll see if I can take a clearer photo and maybe post the photo separately. Yeah. So these are my fallopian, well, my ovaries where they removed the cysts. And then after that, I went back for a follow up, of course, because the bleeding was still irregular. And then doctor said that he will prescribe an HPV vaccine for me. He said I've got HPV and he will prescribe a vaccine for me. So I'm not sure if it was right to prescribe a vaccine for someone who's already got the condition, but at that point I couldn't take the vaccine because then it was out of my budget. The vaccine was a little over 1,000 rand, and at that time my savings were not even like that. I had to use cash, which I didn't have on hand at that time when I went to buy, and then I kept on putting it off. And he said I will do a follow-up biopsy or something after 6 months. That is 6 months from February. So February, March, April. So March, April, May, June. Yeah, so in July, basically, I would have to do another a pap smear, is what he said. So he didn't say anything about a biopsy. So here's the results that I got in February when I went to my gynae. Initially this year. This is when I still had a medical aid. I was working nicely until our airline closed down. Our airline closed down end of June. So this is February. I mean, in February, apparently the cancer was there, but that time the gynae couldn't even identify it, or he misdiagnosed me or something. I'm really not sure what to say. But this is the first pathology report that I got from him. It says I was human papillomavirus 16 positive, 18 negative, risk of HIV types negative, other high risk HIV types negative. Tested by means of qualitative DNA PCR for the detection of 14 high risk HPV genotypes. This assay detects and differentiates between HPV 16, 18, and non-HPV 16 and 18 genotypes, HPV types 31, 33, 32, 39, 45, 51, 52, 56, 58, 59, 66, and 68. A negative PCR does not necessarily include an infection, as the amount of genomic material present may be below the limit of detection of the assay, or due to the presence of PCR exhibitors in the specimen. Please correlate this result with other laboratory and clinical findings. Please contact the lab should you have any queries regarding this test. And then he goes on, and I ask him, does this mean I have to come for another procedure? Because then there's HPV. I think this was after the procedure that I initially had. He says, I just received a call from the lab about your pap smear results. There was an infection with human papillomavirus. It is the virus that can lead to cancer of the cervix. We can repeat pap smear in 6 months. I will prescribe the vaccine. I'm not in the office today. I will prescribe the vaccine for the virus at your follow-up visits. So then I'm like, where's the follow-up? Okay, then I had to call the office and plan the follow-up. And then in March, on the 9th of March, he sends me these results. So I can't remember if was it before or after I saw him. But when he sent me these results, clearly he didn't say anything after on the messages. He just sent the results. Or I think the result he had said he will send while we were consulting. I was consulting with him. And at the consultation, he still maintained that he's prescribing a vaccine, which he did. And he said I must do a follow-up pap smear as soon as, in 6 months, as he typed. But in these results, he says, the results, the pathology report says that the patient is a 33-year-old female. The following specimens were submitted for histological assessment: left ovarian cyst, endometrial curettings, and then under the microscopy, specimen 1, 2 yellow or brown portions of tissue, the larger measuring 50, okay, wada, and then scaty curettings received on gauze, yes, because they went in. So after the procedure of removing the cysts, they went inside the cervix. Microscopy specimen 1. The sections examined represent portions of ovarian parenchyma. An evoluting corpus luteum cyst is present, lined by multi-layered luteinized granulosa cells. An epithelial-lined cyst is not present. There is no evidence of malignancy in the sections examined. Specimen 2 states, the sections examined represent small fragments of endometrium inclusive of glands with surrounding stroma. The endometrial glands are elongated and tortuous and are lined by columnar epithelial cells displaying occasional mitotic figures. The surrounding stroma is compact with no evidence of breakdown. No stromal based plasma cells are seen. Endometrial hyperplasia is not a feature. In addition to the endometrium, small fragments of tissue are seen comprising nests of atypical squamous epithelial cells. The cells demonstrate moderate nuclear pleomorphism with small nucleoli, granular chromatin, and moderate eosinophilic cytoplasm. There is brisk mitotic activity, including atypical forms. Extracellular keratinization is not a feature. The background stoma contains a dense mixed inflammatory cell infiltrate. The squamous epithelial cells stain positively with CK5 or 6 immunohistochemical stain. There is no perineural or lymphovascular space invasion in the sections examined. So I'm really not sure what those terms are. As you can hear, they are bombastic. Actually, some of them is the first time I'm actually reading them now. And then it says under the microscopy again, specimen left ovarian, there was an involuting corpus luteum cyst, and specimen 2, weakly proliferative endometrium. Free-lying fragments of atypical squamous epithelium surrounded by inflamed stroma. Please see comment below. And then the comment says the histopathological features are concerning for the possibility of cervical squamous cell carcinoma. Urgent colposcopic examination and biopsy are kindly recommended. This case was seen in consultation with Dr. L. Nokwane, who concurs with the findings. The above results were discussed telephonically with my doctor. So basically, my doctor failed to translate this information to me. He failed to interpret it to me. And then it resulted in me being in the dark for, since February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. October is when I decided to take a stand, because then I had this pain suddenly. I was suddenly struck by this pain. I thought it was constipation. So I took laxatives, and the next moment, the laxatives are not working. And then by the time they were working, I think I might have overdosed on them. It was just, I felt like my, what do you call it? My appendix had burst. So I felt like my appendix just burst, and literally I went into a frenzy, because I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? So then I went to the hospital, Charlotte McLeck still. And then then I showed them these. No, I hadn't showed them these results. But the first gynecologist that I saw told me that he's going to do a biopsy, because clinically what he sees is cervical cancer. He just took a look. He went in the vagina with that thing they use to open, that steel thing, that metal silver thing that's round, that they use when they do the pap smear. And then he clipped me. Yeah, they call it a pinch biopsy, I think. So I did that pinch biopsy. Let me see what the date was when I went to Charlotte Maxeke when I did the pinch biopsy. It was the 11th month. Was it the 22nd? No, I think this was on another time. But yeah, essentially I did the clip biopsy, which then I did it because a doctor had seen that this is a cancer. So I went on the 22nd of November. Yeah, this is the 15th of November, I think, when I first went. When is this now? Hey, because I was in a frenzy. That day I thought I was dying because my appendix had burst. There's no date here. I think, yeah, my first consultation was the 15th of November. So then doctor looked and clinically determined what my condition was. Let me see. Clinically, he determined on the 15th of November that I've got cervical cancer stage 1B. And then I had to come back on the 1st of December unless the bleeding continued. Yeah. Sorry, guys, I'm in pain. The pain is real, hey? But the thing is, I took painkillers. So I'm taking painkillers at least once every 4 hours. That's how hectic this cancer is, and it's pain. I'm taking tramadols, paracetamol, what is it? Acetaminophen. So I'm mixing between the three because I can't maintain the one. They give me a small amount of pills when I go to the hospital. And of course, laxative, because then these pills cause constipation. So from the pills, it's another problem because you got constipation. And I was on ibuprofen. Ibuprofen seems like it made my problems worse because then I started bleeding, and I've like bleeding all these clots like on Monday. So someone had said it's the ibuprofen. It's like Disprin. It's like aspirin. I can't be on aspirin every day. So at some point I was taking ibuprofen every day, so that was a total no-no. Anyway, yeah, back to the 15th of November, the first doctor told me. So I'm like, what is this? Are you kidding me? Then he does a clip biopsy and I bleed so bad, and I'm scared and I'm in so much pain. It was so painful, and that pain never went away. Since that clip biopsy, that pain never went away. And the doctor then said, if the bleeding carries on, I must come back to the hospital. So on the 22nd of November, so I couldn't even wait. Apparently the results normally take a month to eight weeks. So a month to 2 months, but he's gonna fast track mine because it's an emergency situation, and he's gonna try at least and make it a month. So I was supposed to go on the 1st of December, he had said. And yeah, I think, or did I go before the 15th? Like beginning of November. I think beginning of November. And then the 15th of November was when I went back instead of the 1st of December. Yeah, because I remember I went 2 weeks later because I was panicking. And then I had to tell them that I'm bleeding. And the bleeding is not stopping. I guess it was the anxiety and the panic. The bleeding wasn't all that bad, but I could tell things were going wrong at a very fast pace, and something had to be done as quick as possible. So yeah, I think it was the 1st of November. I just can't see that report that has the date, the 1st of November. I think it's the one that's not even showing. Oh, and then the 15th of November. And then on the 15th of November, I saw another gynecologist who then also checked me and did a clinical assessment and assessed that I am on stage 1B cervical cancer. And then I showed her, what a great gynecologist. I showed her the reports from my previous gynecologist from February. And she said to me, no, but these results are saying that there's a possibility of cancer. So why did your gynecologist not make you follow up and do a proper biopsy after he saw these results? Why, like, so then I told her that he recommended a vaccine instead. So you understand, I had medical aid that time, and now my job, I lost my job in June. Murphy's Law, all these things arise when you actually really need them. And now I'm stuck in a government institution where the waiting game is like on steroids. But anyway, this second gynae clinically proves that it's stage 1B cancer, confirms the results that in February already I had this cancer. It was a cancer already in February, you know. So it really breaks my heart that I was misdiagnosed basically, and I really don't know what to do with that case. It's a story for another day, I suppose. But my gynecologist, the one from Peru, he's a really nice guy. So I don't think I'd want to take any further steps. I just not in the mood for that kind of drama because already I'm dealing with a lot. I need to deal with my healing. But anyway, moving back to the second gynecologist, she's confirmed stage 1B cervical cancer. And luckily on the system, my results were out. So instead of waiting a month, 2 weeks later, the results were out. So it's a good thing that I followed up when I did. And it was confirmed cervical cancer. The labs have confirmed I've got cancer. Sharp. The trauma, because now I had hopes that, hey, at least again, let it be seen clinically, but let not the labs confirm this. Let it not be what it looks like, I had that little hope. But anyway, I had to then go see an oncologist. So from the 15th, on the 22nd, I then went to see an oncologist. Then the oncologist said that I'm on stage 3B. So I'm not sure if within a week the cancer moved from stage 1B, it took 1 week from 1B to 3B, or because the oncologist knows better, I guess, they know into more detail and how to label these things. He saw what it actually is. So that was disappointing. The fact that I didn't even have an option or a choice, like an option to remove my womb. It's too late for me to remove my womb because the cancer has spread to the vagina. That's a hard pill to swallow, the fact that I can't remove my womb and get away with not doing radiation or chemo. Now I have to do radiation or chemo. So since the 22nd of December, like it's been the longest 22nd, it's been the longest week of my life since they told me I'm on stage 3B. Was it the 22nd when they told me? I think it was. Or was the 22nd my follow-up? I don't know. I'm so confused, guys. These dates are messing me up. But anyway, it's been a couple of weeks, more than 2 weeks since I know that I'm on stage 3B cervical cancer. And the only thing I'm on right now is painkillers because I'm on a waiting list at the hospital at Charlotte Maceke. I've submitted my requests to do some studies, some research programs, which I'm waiting for their response. I'm hoping to go to the USA for any research or study program that they might be conducting. It's risky. Being part of a research is risky, but God willing, I'll get it. But if it's not according to God's plan, then I won't go to the US for this research study. Yeah, so that's my cancer story. What else am I missing out? Leaving out? Yeah, so I did a scan, a CT scan. I think it's on one of the days, or after after I went to the oncologist, I went for a chest X-ray, and then they also did more blood tests, which confirm, of course, that I'm HIV negative. So there's no any underlying issues, and I think my lungs were cleared, and yeah, now I guess I have to go for. Well, I went for a CT scan. and they marked me. So they put 3 marks, one on like a tattoo, dots, 3 dots, on one on each hip and one on just above the pelvis. And that's where I guess they'll be performing the radiation. So they said during the radiation, we're gonna go for chemotherapy as well, once in 3 weeks or something of that sort. I can't remember for how long. I think 3 chemo sessions. I can't remember how many sessions of chemo. And yeah, apparently chemo is the hardest. Some people have side effects and some people don't. I'm just hoping and praying that I'm one of those people who will not have side effects. However, if I do have side effects, I just pray that I'll be strong enough to get through this thing and actually heal, and beat this thing. Now, my biggest worry is that I've got all these blood clots, coming out. It's so hectic, actually. It's so scary. I don't know what to do, if I should go to the hospital. I'm so tempted to go to the hospital, but tomorrow's a holiday. It's a weekend. They did say that radiation they only do during the week. So even if I go to the hospital, I'm not sure how they're going to help me with, what they're going to help me with, rather, or how they're going to help me. So I'm really thinking about it. The pain is there. It's not getting any better, even through the painkillers that I'm taking, once every 4 hours. I took now at what time? 4 p.m. So let me see. 4, 5, 6, 7. My next one is at 8 p.m. It's due at 8 p.m., but I'm in pain already. So tempted to take 2 more, but I'd rather not. Let me just stick it out until 8 p.m., have dinner, and then take the pain meds. At some point while I was waiting for the results within that 2-week waiting period, I actually went vegan. Clearly that didn't help at that point because the pain was just getting worse still. And I just got deprived of food, nice food that I could eat. All I know is that also it's wise to stay away from sugar because sugar feeds the cancer. However, it's very difficult to stay away from a lot of things when you already know you've got the cancer, because I'm a stress eater. So if I crave for certain things, like at some point, and especially when I'm highly stressed, I need to find comfort in that. But luckily today I haven't been really having cravings. I didn't have cravings because I'm in pain. So generally what happens is that when I'm in pain, I literally don't crave for anything. Yeah, guys. So I'm just telling my story. I'm just gonna be with you during this journey, during my cancer journey, because I realized also in South Africa there's a few people that actually document what they go through in terms of their cancer journey, because it's so frightening, guys. It's unbelievable. It's surreal. I'm still trying to come to terms with my situation right now, and the fact that there's no more medical and I have to do it via government institution. But Charlotte Maxeke is one of the best hospitals in South Africa, so I actually trust that I will be okay and I will come out of this triumphant, if that's a good way of putting it. Guys, otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in. There's a video where actually I wanted to share, one of my doctors was explaining what happens during the chemotherapy process. Okay, the video is already on the laptop. I'll see if I can. Oof, no, I actually can't share that. But yeah, he was talking about the amount of sessions that we're going to have, and we went through the counseling. So we had to sign a consent form before we did the scan, the CT scan. Before you sign the consent form, you do counseling. So we did a group counseling. And yeah, I guess I'm not the only one who's going through this. A lot of women are going through this. I heard on some study, apparently, in life, half of the world would have had some cancer at some point in their lives. So guys, cancer is a real thing. It's very important that we take care of ourselves and try to be as healthy as possible. Try to work out, try to stress less, because guys, even the clotting now and the bleeding, I feel like it's caused by stress. I've been stressing so much. On Monday I was stressing. So yeah, guys, this was me on Monday the 26th of December. 2 hours before I started bleeding profusely because of stress. That's when the bleeding commenced. Besides the ibuprofen tablets, I feel like stress just caused the bleeding. And here's a tea, actually. Let me show you. A tea I've been on. I'm actually gonna now pour myself a cup. It's called Cancer Bush. I got it from this game. It's one of the things that I'm on right now while I wait, because with government institutions, as I mentioned, it's rather a long waiting game. But I really hope and pray that, my process gets sped up and everything works out, according to God's plan. And I pray for strength and wisdom, that, to accept whatever situation, that if I can't change the situation, I just pray that I at least am able to accept it. And I pray that God grants me enough knowledge to know when not to stress and when to stress and things like that. But otherwise, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully next time I'll be looking better with makeup. I need a new hairdo, but I know I'm looking good for a person who's got cancer. It's really unbelievable, and I really thank God that I'm not bedridden or in a worse situation than I could have been. I still found this cancer when there's still time to fight, and fight I will. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Happy New Year, and until I see you again on my next video or updates, I will try and make time and update you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please do follow me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is nthabeling_the DJ @NTHA. I'll actually put it down here. So please do follow me on Instagram. Like my video. Please do not be afraid to post your comments. Questions if you have, I'll answer some of those questions, burning questions that you have as ladies going through the same thing. Like, share, and subscribe to my page. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much for watching.
I know it's darkest, just before dawn.
It's not easy right now.
This might be the hardest season you experience.
I've been there,
It hurts,
but it won't last
won't be too long.
because you are.
Closer than you think you are.
You may not see it yet.
Closer than you've been before.
Come on, Israel.
Oh, look to the sky. Help is on the way.
Say it's not over.
It's not over.
It's not finished. It's not the